Could we see them think about like a Terrorblade here? Oh, it's against
Radiant
ET. It's
team
always
pick.
traditionally been a big counter. I'm just thinking like a Illusion here with a Shadow Demon, and the Terrorblade's got a good matchup versus a Luna, but
Mm.
they offer a snap fire. So just more, they had a little bit of a weakness in team fight, so now the snap fire can combine with the Mars.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
I still don't hate the Leshrac
seconds
right now for them,
remaining back.
but it's a little challenging with the Shadow Demon. I mean, that's a great way to be able to take out the Shadow Demon in a lot of these fights. So I'm liking the brew pick so far. Of course, it is a Mizu specialty as well. So I'm keen to see how the Micro Fiend is able to make it work in this game.
So
Nice, easy way to be able to pop the
10
Drunken
seconds
Brawler as well.
remaining.
Doesn't matter if it's with the Fade Bolt or just the Astral
Radiant
Spirit to be able to
team
do the
back.
damage. Drunken Brawler, Cinder Brew.
and you can also purge off the Flame Guard through these fights as well. So
Dire team
Brew's gonna have a
back.
lot of impact, and they're playing off the back of having like a Yangon need a way to go late game versus Luna. Like this hero is going to be very difficult. I mean, kind of tops off around 40-45 minutes. Like there are heroes that can scale a lot higher, but going to a Brewmaster can be kind of an anti-carry with
10
just
seconds
cycloning
remaining.
them in the air and taking them out of the team fight. So I really like the pick here
5
for Mizu. We'll
seconds
see how they
remaining.
look to try and protect it though. Sven gone, a great way to at least kill off the Brewlings. Trying to think of any other cores that can help with that.
I mean, I'm still wanting to see how Nigma Galaxy are going to get onto the
Radiant
backlines to
team
start
back.
with. Like, look at all this. Every single mid counter that has like strong backline movement is
Dire
gone. It's
team
basically
pick.
only Void Spirit that's left available, and we mentioned before that that is a much favorable matchup for Ember Spirit into the Void.
You see, they're trying to ban out all these strength carries at the moment. Quite often, as when you're versing an Elder Titan, you don't want to go for an agility hero because of the base armor. So, I mean,
10
Spectre,
seconds
Sven, Life,
remaining.
Silicon. Are there any other strength carries that you can think of?
5
Mm.
seconds remaining.
Is Mag?
Radiant team
How's the
They're gonna
bristle
Ursa.
this game?
Okay. So they actually do go. Ursa is one of the better agi heroes versus ET because if you're laning versus him, you can quite often man fight. ET
Mm.
can never just get in range. You can just pop in with ease. The enrage is great versus the natural order because he's so difficult
10
to be able to
seconds
get bursted down. He does get kited pretty heavily from the Brewmaster,
5
but at least the
seconds
lane
remaining.
is solid with Ursa.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this might be one of those games where Shadow Demon actually looks to go for the Agadim Shard just so that you're able to use it onto someone like the Ursa if he gets tossed up in the air by the Brewmaster.
So you feel like Nigma Galaxy needs some form of a playmaker here for Alacrity?
I mean, I don't think they have anything left, to be honest. Like, it's Void Spirit is the one hero that's left in my eyes.
Yeah, oh boy. There's not a whole lot left. You're right. I mean, I was gonna say Queen of Pain, but that got banned out lost.
Storm's gone, Puck's gone, Invoker's gone. It's a lot that they are going to have to play with. I wouldn't be surprised if they spend all of their reserve time thinking about this because they're in a rough spot right now.
You
Also,
did
something that's going to be able to contest into the Ursa, who's going to be going for Roche. You know, that's something that we haven't mentioned. We've got the minus armor from the Snapfire as well. So ET is good at contesting into it, but they don't have much else other than the Lunar Eclipse and the Earth Splitter to deal that AoE damage. Not a huge amount of great spells for Rubik to steal either.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, I think Snapfire spells are pretty decent and Spear as well, but apart from that, there's not the greatest options here for Yokam. You brought up the Lena earlier. Yeah, that's probably, I think Lena and Storm are some of the options that I think are top tier at the moment that's left. And we say that, they'll
Lena
probably
Lesh.
just go for something else. They
Tinker.
do.
You may
It's
now
going to be a
select
Tinker
your
game here
heroes.
for Alacrity.
I mean,
It's a pretty good Tinker game. That's a pretty good
depends.
Tinker game. Like, they don't get on him very easily. Ember needs to have a really, really good game where he has Ags, and your Mars as well needs to have a pretty solid game where he's got items to hunt the Tinker.
Sure, but I feel like at least you've got the potential to do that, right? Like Blink Dagger on Mars plus Ember Spirit, just being able to find him out once is going to be so impactful for being able to take out this Tinker, right? Like unless you've got some hyper defensive supports constantly playing around the Tinker, which, let's be real, isn't going to be happening all that much considering how much you're bouncing around the map, it's going to make
10
his life a
seconds
little harder. I
remaining.
feel like this was a Tinker born out of like necessity as opposed to something that they actually wanted to do.
It is cool though that you have some synergy with the rest of your heroes in regards to vision. Like you can use ET Astral and the nighttime vision from Luna. I think whenever you speak about a Tinker, you always have to bring up the factor of just these homing missiles consistently being spammed out from afar. I mean, we see it a lot of times with like a bounty hunter or someone else that can enable him vision wise. So we'll see how much this is going to affect the game. Because I think our previous game came down a lot to the vision advantage from the side of Polaris.
Yeah, but there's no Beastmaster, there's no support Monkey King this time around, so it's going to be a little harder for Alacrity for sure. You know, Elder Titan, after it happens once, I think, if the player you're thinking about just using the Spirit for the vision is revealed, then they'll be playing a lot more carefully on Yangon Galacticos. I think this is going to be a pretty damn even game. I feel like they've both got their key counters. They've both got their timings that they need to be looking to play around. You don't want to go late if you're Yangon right now. Being able to face up into the Luna and a Tinker that's been able to build up a bunch of different items, plus the Elder Titan that's going to obviously get so strong when we get to the later stages of this game, is so much more challenging, especially when you've got an Ursa that needs to be, looking around that second Roche timing. Around 30 minutes or so is where I feel, Yangon Galacticos are wanting to finish this.
Prepare for battle.
What do you feel like is the hero that needs to pop off for Yangon to enable these early Roshans? Because them being on Dire doesn't make it that much easier, just with how naturally they're going to be playing on the map. So who do we have to watch out for Dire to help the Ursa to get that?
It has to be Young PH for mine. Like, you need... He's the only one in this game that has some form of, like, backline closing, basically, so they need to exploit the fact that they've got that advantage in their draft versus what Nigma Galaxy have.
And then for Radiant, who should we be paying attention to maybe be able to shut down Young PH?
For mine, it's probably Mizu, just having a really good early game, getting early levels, making sure that you're able to respond to any movements with that primal split into just tossing them up into the air, and then using that to also cause a little bit of havoc for the Shadow Demon.
Do you feel like they have a lane that can enable Mizu here?
I mean, it's okay. It's actually looking like being the Snapfire in the top lane. All right, it's not too bad, right? But it is one of these heroes that can fall down if you are in a bit of a risky position. Jokam, of course, paired together with him, it's a great way to be able to pop the Cinder Brew. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to depend on Zoran's positioning in a lot of these engagements. It doesn't feel like too strong of a kill lane for Yangon Galacticos, just because of how at range you can look to stay with this Rubik. Of course, with the Boots of Speed, it does help that out a little bit here. But I'm going to... You mentioned the Aghanim Scepter. Of course, it is very important that the Ember Spirit picks it up. I wouldn't hate seeing something like a Gleipnir, honestly, for him in this game in particular. Just that extra little bit of control to lock down someone like the Tinker and allow the rest of the team to join in and connect onto you.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Young PH can itemize just to give them that time to jump. I think even the Ursa, we've seen Hal have really, really good performances so far through the Pro Series. And, he's a hero that, if he gets enough time and space, he definitely relies on second Roshan, being able to find that Aghanim Shard. But we could see at the end of the game, how if he's got the Blink and has the Abyssal Blade, then he can offer some kill threat on the Luna and even the Tinker as well. But the question is on how this lane is really going to fare. Because, I mean, the Ursa through the early levels is not the strongest, and I mean, it feels like the Brewmaster is not the greatest laner either, so I'm really intrigued on how this lane's going to fare.
Yeah, like level 3 onwards, you feel a lot stronger about Brewmaster's potential to just shove Hal out of the lane. So we'll see if they're able to play around that, already forcing him to pop the salve super early. I don't think he's even going to get max value out of it either.
And you were saying that, you said, oh, the snap fires top. Were you more expecting the snap to be down bottom and the Shadow Demon to play with the Ursa?
No, honestly, it just slipped my mind. The Shadow Demon together with the Mars, it's a good combination. He's only level 1 now, so he just wanted the God's Rebuke to be able to secure those range creeps. But again, it's a really nice setup combination with the Disruption and the Spear of Mars to potentially get a pick off onto Paulson, who might be baited into just going a little bit too deep.
Is the Shadow Demon a support that can, play the lane versus the ET? Like, is there the capability of just spamming poison from afar?
Not so much the poison. I think it's just the disruption, right? Just to be able to create that little bit of space between you and the enemy. You can see Paulson, he's a position 5 ET, right? So no base movement speed through the boots, and that's going up against Skill A, who does have the boots of speed already completed. So I don't think he's going to be too concerned as well.
Can they get the spear onto tower?
Yes,
they can. Polo a little bit too late for the banishment. The God's Rebuke's going to push him further away. He's in your dream, trying to stand his ground to man fight with the Fairy Fire, but Skill 8 just able to pick up first blood with the poisons ticking on over. Top action continues to break out as Hao positions on 4 thanks to the help of the Cookie. Mizu continued to try and man fight as well. It's only level 2 on with the Ursa, but the ability's about to come back up shortly, but Mizu has been able to reset.
It was a really nice Echo Stomp there by Paulson. Unfortunately, not enough to be able to save in your dreams. That's a very valuable kill for them to be able to pick up on Yangon Galacticos' side. Skill A, he was the one that was able to secure it, and being able to go into an early Arcane Boots is going to be real value for them. Of course, you can just disassemble it later for the Aether Lens, but just the constant pressure that it's going to enable you to put in onto in your dream is going to pay dividends really quickly. And you can see what it means as well. The Mars, he's gone away from buying into the Soul Ring because you've got that mana replenishment tool. So he's just starting to build into the phase boots already and just continue to be up in the face of In Your Dream.
Are you surprised at how the mid lane's going at the moment? A little bit of an advantage here for Alacrity's Tinker over the Ember?
Radiant structures are fortified.
Not really. Like, it's not an amazingly strong lane for the Ember Spirit. I think it's more just the thing that was lacking as well. Actually, might even be getting gone on further, as yes, he will. I mean, any kind of rotation can punish both lineups prior to level 6, but it just
bottom
feels
lane,
like...
In Your Dream, it's in trouble. It's going to get chased down further and further as Skill A has this extra level in the Shadow Poison. And another kill here for the Shadow Demon. And now Polo-san is going to look to try and get some retribution. Got a lot of extra damage with the Astral, but the speed just up. And then it could time to keep Skill A alive. And now they might turn it back around. Shadow Demon has a little bit more mana to utilize here. Only up to the 3 charges.
Just standing still there on low.
It's a last right click. He's not going to find it though. When they're in your dream respawning, they're going to be okay. Even top lane, the action continues as Yokam. And it's one more right click for the Fairy Fire stick as well, keeping Zorain alive. And it gives Hal enough time to turn it back around. And now with Cookie back up, Mizu is trying to hide in the tree line. But Yangon Galacticos lanes are going really well.
It's too damn late.
Yeah, for sure. The one saving grace for them is this Tinker having a very good time in the mid lane. Alacrity's picked up his level 6, so that bottle refill is going to start coming up. If the lane starts pushing too deep, you can definitely look to see this Tinker look to connect through. Maybe not just yet. He's only got the 2 points into the heat-seeking rockets, but once he levels those up a little bit further, you can definitely make a big impact all throughout the map. So we'll see how Yangon are going to put even more priority into making sure the lane is pushed back as far underneath their own tower as possible.
Any stacks at the moment from either side? I mean, it's really Radiant that's more reliant on taking these stacks with the Luna and the Tinker, but double sentry at the Ancients and the Hard from Yangon, so a lot of awareness at looking to shut down the cause from Nigma Galaxy.
I like it, and you also had the movement around there from Paulson. He made sure to take away the bounty rune as well. So luckily enough for young PH, he was able to pick up the
bottom lane again.
Side. Yeah.
The Shadow Demon Mars combination, so easy to find the spear setup, but yeah, Alacrity is going to look to make his first rotation of the game. Lays it back up in a couple of seconds, and they might even be able to find Skill A too. I mean, Rearm takes a long time. Meanwhile, Skill A finds a big solo kill. Easily stacks up this poison. He was just freely running around. as the Mars were just soaking up all the attention. But, I mean, meanwhile, Young PH is... Wait, is he actually going to get this tower? Radiant, they don't have Glyph.
Tinker actually using his real TP to get back to that lane, realizing how important it is. You can't wait around for the Keen Conveyance 4.5 seconds, otherwise that tower would have definitely gone down. Probably still going to, though.
Wow. This is huge that they get the early towers. I mean, Tinker is someone that really relies on having objectives to play around and just TP locations to get across the map and protecting him to farm, because he does have a bit of a rough period in the game from what, level 7 to level... level 12. Once he gets that extra point in the ultimate, he's going to be okay. Top again. Zorain and How. I mean, these side lanes are just going swimmingly for Yangon.
Looking to come back here. How is a little bit low. Has to be careful. Doesn't have the Blink Dagger to contend into just yet, but it's only 400, 500 gold away as Zorain. He might be looking to go down here. Although, the turnaround potential. Cookie.
Gonna get the jump on. They need the laser to protect Mizu. And now with Alacrity getting nearby, How gonna have to rally back towards the T1 tower. So
It's not just the Tinker that's vulnerable at this start of the game, though, right? Like in your dream, he's almost level 6, but this is a Luna. This is someone that doesn't have too much in the form of escape. You got decent movement speed, but other than that, not the highest HP pool to be able to play with. So see what Young PH is going to be able to do to be able to harass. Finally, the creeps are starting to spawn inside their own jungle.
Bottom again. Lun and Skill. This time they'll have to drop the arena. So a bit more of a heavy commitment here to try and deal with the Elder Titan, who's somehow not dead still. Hang on a second. Polo?
Oh man, he's getting away.
What?
Ooh.
Oh, that was so close. Okay. At least he does go down. Meanwhile, there was a kill up top on the Snapfire, so a 1-for-1 trade across the map. But look at what they're doing. Young PH, I love how it just up
Blink
in the
dagger.
face he is. Bottom lane. Alacrity
Oh, this
already
is
blink
big.
completed, but the speed connection push back to the Earth so they can stack up the Fury swipes. A huge kill for them to find. Alacrity was 6-0, but a 479 gold given over to the
Radiant's
Ursa.
middle tower is under attack.
Sometimes there's a little bit of luck that goes your way. How tipping to the bottom side of the map just in time for them to go for that play. I don't think they saw the Blink Dagger was picked up, so the fact that it was there probably can't be said as bait. Well, they'll gladly take it. Important for an Ursa to continue to snowball his good early lead, even looking to take away some of this farm that that Luna's trying to get in her own jungle. Placing Mizu down on this bottom side as well. They got the Primal Split available, plus the Urn. Plus
they're gonna
the
use it.
of the ultimate, yeah. Alacrity's coming back here. Just using that vision that the Primal Spirits are able to provide. That'll be another guaranteed kill.
They do get a kill up top between the supports, Skill and Snapfire. So 1-for-1 across the map. I mean, they lose a core, but is the ultimate committed. It feels like, though, for Radiant, whenever the ultimates are backup and available, you have to use them to get kills, because you don't have playmakers. It's not like a position 2 can really get active, even though the Tinker has the blink. I feel like this is more just for his own farm across the map and taking a lot more of the aggressive and difficult farm and let the Luna to get the triangle.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's you're playing on a knife's edge if you're Alacrity, right? Like, of course, such a high amount of damage that you're able to output, but you can find yourself at this stage of the game in a really vulnerable position without that defense matrix being leveled up and without the level 12 as well to take
Ember
that
might be in
rearm.
trouble. Okay, Soul Chains, Telekinesis, but the damage not enough. They have to reset away from the Ember thanks to the artillery. They're still able to
got him,
catch
though.
him out, though. Alacrity, once again, is Tinker a huge thorn in their side. And I mean, I was saying that he's going to have a bit of a weak period from that 7 to 11 just before he gets the ultimate. But honestly, Alacrity's playing really well across the map.
Yeah, I thought he did incredibly well in the laning stage, and yeah, he's certainly transitioned it other than that one slightly deep dive, but you can't blame him all that much. You couldn't really predict it. We actually ended up finding out the Tinker with the spear inside the trees, but no damage potential to be able to take him out.
Oh, Ursa and Snapper into Roche. Yeah, this is scary. I mean, you got 3 points to a Shredder, Blightstone as well. Radiant, they're nearby, so just one Ashtal.
Dire's middle tower.
Shadow Demon's
Rain to tank it.
honestly great play from Skill. It really doesn't matter if he dies here. Just space created, making them waste and drag all their attention away from the pit. And there you go. Aegis picked up, and an Ursa is someone who really relies on getting that first Rosh at such a fast timing. So the second Roshan is up earlier in the game.
Yeah, for sure. One key objective completed for them already. Getting to go towards the diffusal blade, very standard. I wonder if this is a game where you can afford to go the Blink Dagger before the BKB, just so that you're able to lock in onto that Tinker in a lot of these team fights if you're finally able to catch her out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ooh, Blackriddy.
Careful here. Really play with fire.
I was
Got
thinking
the arena
about it.
available. I feel like if he was going to go for the arena play, it had to be immediately after Blink.
Ooh.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I mean, there are very few opportunities that you're going to be able to make that play, right? Like 3.5 seconds is a long time. If you blink once, you should probably be using that that Arena of Blood. I suppose the one downside is they didn't have the scan. They used it to secure the Roche, so they were just wanting to be a little bit more cautious around it. So Rain, again, a little bit of luck might work out for him, as they're going for a bit of a dive here. Available. Doesn't look like they want to go for it though.
Just skill lay the sacrifice. Bot and Zorain still playing on the outskirts here. Just teetering on the edge. Do you see Luna farming underneath the triangle? Young PH gonna try and continue just to play really aggressive. They're never allowing Luna just to freely farm without being contested. And you can compare that to the Ursa. How has just been chilling right now. Diffusal completed.
Yeah, I mean, he's forcing Tinker to rotate in, a little bit more of a defensive fashion. I don't mind it for the Tinker, though, because, again, you need that level 12, any chance.
They're looking for the defense top. Mizu not fast enough to get the Primal Spring off. Can they chain lock him out after the banishment? They can. Mizu's gone. They're looking for Yokam Yex. Young PH finally starting to get involved. It's going to be 2 heroes falling across the map. Another defense from Yangon Galacticos. They're doing an incredible job, and I think towers is another thing that Radiant need early. This can just open up the map a little bit more. Tinker can start to shove out top, which will make it, more attention for Yangon has to come to defend that top lane shoved in instead of getting up in the face of the Luna. Now without having to worry about that, they can run straight into the triangle. And now you can see in your dream, he just can't farm.
Can't farm at all. You're even getting a bit of a backstep coming in here from Mizu, though. They're going to find out Lun. He doesn't have his ultimate to play around with, but he can get the spear off. Should still end up dying, though.
Still only level 1 in the rearm from Alacrity, and Mizu actually has to commit here with the Primal Spling, but they're coming over. Young PH has got the Arcune if he wants to utilize it for the team fight. It's like it's just Mizu at the moment still. It's taken a long time to kill off the Mars. Primal Split about to expire. How? Waiting in the wings. Diffusal Blade reveal. Straight on top of Mizu. They're even going to jump for more. They've caught out the Tinker on the high ground. Alacrity, no assistance as Yokam. It can only stand there and watch as the beams laying down from afar. They'll drop the Earth Spirit as well. The rest of Radiant looking to find an angle into the team fight, but they won't get it. Young PH continuing to push them further and further away as now How can close the distance. 4 down, make it a 5th as Yangon Galacticos team wipe under the tier 2 tower.
And you just see the difference in having that gap close, right? Like you had to use the Primal Split super early on Mizu. Ends up eventually getting the kill onto the Mars, but not before there's a huge delay in the time that it takes to kill him, right? He was able to get off the second use of the Hood of Defiance. You were able to get the disruption off, just enabling him to live that extra 5 or so seconds and be able to get into position to slowly take over that team fight. And yeah, what a great connection through from Young PH onto the Tinker.
You're playing pretty aggressive right now, my guy.
Doesn't even get the Midas off.
They've gotten so much out of this Aegis. 4,000 net worth lead. All tier 1s claimed.
They're trying to take away the ancient stack as well. They stacked it up one more time.
I just love this. Like, where do you farm on Luna? You're 30 net worth, but it's a hero that wants the ancients nowhere else.
I mean, Ember Spirit has to be here, though. You can understand he wants to play around this mid lane, keep it shoved in. But Ursa not the fastest taker of ancients on his own. No more Battle Fury Ursa, thankfully. I think the reasoning behind wanting to use
Radiant's middle tower
the
is
ultimate
under
previously
attack.
by Mizu is they really didn't want to reveal the fact that they have this observer ward here inside their own ancient camp. So
Dire's
they want to make
bottom
sure that they're
tower
as
is under attack.
able to play around it as much as possible as they can. But
Oh,
look at
no.
what the result
Oh,
is in
no.
your
On a
dream.
loyal warrior.
Stalked out. Young PH just needs to hold the chains.
They'll let him stack it one more time, and the tip actually comes out. He's like, sorry, buddy.
Preemptive tip. No escape. Another dead Luna. Across the map. They do get Lun. But, I mean, that's another Primal split. We brought it up earlier, that Radiant. They have to use the split to get kills, but when it's only... I mean, it's a 130-second cooldown for a Mars that's dead for 30 seconds. Like, if you don't get this T1 tower out of it, I don't see how it's worth. Luckily enough, it's only got 310 health, so they will get it.
It's value late game for sure, but yeah, early feels a lot more challenging. Yeah, well, it's going to be their first tower at around the 17.5-minute mark. They used a lot of TPs to be able to get down to that bottom side to take out the Ursa. The only one that's capable of defending is Young PH, but I think he's content to just continuously shove out these other lanes and keep farming towards that boost of travel. It's just about for him enabling himself to go in onto the back lines, survive, and then take out these squishier supports or find the Tinker. So whether he wants to go into the BKB next, or if he wants to just go straight Ags, it's up to him, but either one is pretty valid in my eyes.
How do we feel about the Tinker's itemization this game with the Aghanims being worked on for Alacrity?
It's pretty standard, right? Like, it's always just going to be that more extra effective. The one downside is that it did receive a slight nerf in the most recent patch 7.3e. The Scepter bonus range now is only 200 extra as opposed to 300. And, well, it shouldn't matter too much for Alacrity. We've seen a couple of times now where he's used the fact that it's splash damage on the laser to be able to net kills. The one that he got on the bottom side of the map, I believe against Ursa, it was against someone else, but he ended up using the laser onto a range creep instead when the hero was in fog. So it's just that sort of stuff that makes you rank #1.
A lot of people forget Alacrity ranked #1 is quite the skillful player. Even though there was Makoto coming in, Alacrity back for the tournament, but Nigma Galaxy, of course, this was their old roster, very comfortable. And
23 Savage, let's not forget about that.
yeah,
Very high rank.
a lot of
Dire's top
incredible
tower is
talent
under
in Southeast Asia, seeing and get poached through other regions. So exciting stuff, honestly, for the region.
Dire's top
Very
Oh, yeah.
exciting.
Can we get a clap for Pon, though, by the way?
Clap,
Being
clap.
picked up by Quincy Crew.
Stonks rising for my guy. Love to see it. Mizu. They're decreasing for him. He's just trying to get what little farm he can. Yokem actually, they might kill the Snapfire before Mizu dies. Surprisingly, the amount of damage they can do from afar. Even Alacrity looks to TP in.
Just be very careful. It's a lot easier now, though, for him to participate in these team fights. Oof, that was close. But he's gotten to that level 12 key timing on the Tinker. So now, instead of 3.5 seconds to rearm, it's only 2. The difference between, rank 2 and rank 3 is, not quite so much. So it's really that level 12 that you need to be playing around pretty heavily. And he's even got the defense matrix to play around a little bit. So, you just cast that on yourself. You might be able to get the blink away as well, even if they're right on top of.
What items are we looking for Luna to start to feel a little bit more stronger in this game? Do you think it's going to be BKB or is it BKB +1?
Oh, I mean, I think you just need to try and make sure that you're not losing the game right now. So I feel like you can put your farm on the back burner a little bit, make sure you're not dying, having this constant presence in team fights. And then, if you're able to, for example, snipe away the second Roche because of the farm that you've been able to obtain, then that's a big bonus for yourself. And that's really what In Your Dream's going for. He's about 1,400 gold away from picking it up. Roche may respawn in about 30 seconds. It'll probably be about a minute after that. So he's got a good 2 minutes needed to pick up this 1,400 gold with disassembling the Dragon Lance for the Ogre Axe component.
Yeah, I think it's really going to come off the back of how Nigma Galaxy can itemize around that Roche, because it's always highlighted whenever you're against an Ursa lineup, but giving up that second Roche, you have to contest it. I mean, that can quite often be make or break it for an Ursa lineup, because Yangon Galacticos, as the game goes on, they will not scale as hard as the side of Radiant. They do not take towers easy, so you really need that extra life to play with. As Mizu again's under threat. The chain lockdown is going to be perfect here. Banishment onto 2. Mizu trying to get the ultimate off, and he will. This could be the fight they're waiting for. They baited Yangon pretty deep under the lane. They got the information to play with as well with the Observe Ward, so Alacrity playing on the outskirts. They'll cycling up Pal, not giving the Ursa the opportunity to get those claws rocking and rolling. It's just one with Mizu utilizing the ultimate there, and Roshan's available. If Dire scout this out, they might actually just walk in.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty good that they, that Mizu was, sorry, for Yangon Galacticos, that Mizu was able to get the ultimate off. I think could have been a little bit grief there by Skill A, using the disruption there, allowing him to, you know, break away the damage a little bit, but yeah, like you mentioned, it was a quick Roche respawn. Again, one of those things where luck might just be falling their way a little bit. The plus side is that in your dream, he was spending the majority of that time farming, 500 gold away from being able to pick up that BKB and have a real presence at this next team fight. Probably hit level 14 as well. You would imagine that it'll get the extra point in the Lucent Beam just for the extra damage, because not seeing any BKBs so far on Yangon Galacticos' side, so they'll be very vulnerable to a level 2 Eclipse.
Yeah, these BKBs are going to have to come out pretty soon from Dire, considering, I mean, Luna at this stage is very, very minimal physical damage. So, till then, Yangon have to play off the back of, you know, potentially skill lay with the banishment just to have this one survivable factor. We saw in the last game there were big issues with how
Alacrity.
Oh, needs to hold the chains. He's already used it. If Alacrity just TP's out now, he would have made it, but and he has actually. I couldn't see the TP animations. Like, hang on, what's going on here? Is he just standing there? All right, Alacrity's out, chilling. Very nicely done, young PH. Almost able to catch them off guards here. You see just how much easier it's starting to get for Alacrity, though, to push out these waves, and it's really opening the map for the rest of Radiant.
Especially now that he's level 15 as well. He's got that extra rocket count each time he uses the heat-seeking missile, so it's going to be pretty challenging. Again, pre-BKB, Alacrity and Luna can deal so much damage in these team fights, and there's not really anything that they can do about it, provided that, and especially with Mizu also disrupting your backlines. The fact that they haven't scouted out this Roche is kind of a big deal. I mean, they've got a big timing here that they could be hitting on Yangon while they don't have the Primal Split available. I think they might finally do it. Question is, will it be too late? 20 seconds left on the Brewmaster ulti.
ET has to be playing here.
Yep.
ET, you gotta be here. Oh no. Like, this is the power of this hero. You're on Radiant. You're naturally up top. How are they getting this for free?
Well, it's one of those fear factors as well, right? Like, in your dream, he's just been bullied so much in the early game that Paulson feels like he really does need to be playing around his teammate. Now, that's very high value coming through there for Yangon Galacticos, sitting underneath the smoke, trying to catch anyone out.
Mizu's the target. Let's see if the Earth Split is fast enough to get Mizu's ultimate off. It's going to be. So at least they have the Primal Split to be able to play with this fight. They rip apart the Mars. Who do they want to go for next? Targeting Hao at the moment. Keep in mind, he's got the Aegis in your gym's going to look to reel the BKB as well, but meanwhile, the backline, young PH, is dealt with one of the supports, going to look for the second as well. And now they've kited the BKB. They haven't even lost the Aegis as well, so they've got to be cautious because Alacrity on top of the backline. They've caught him out. Young PH prioritizing the remnants to get straight on top of the Tinker and bring him down. And now in your dream, there's no assistance. Mizu just has to stand and watch his skill lay from afar. The banishment to stop the retreat, and Hao can swipe him through. A triple for your Ursa. Finally, they'll get the Aegis, but what a fight for Yangon Galacticos.
Another one where they're just not able to get the Brewmaster split, but it doesn't even matter. You know, they're happy to just continuously kite that one out. It was a really nice use of the disruption, as well as young PH. He made sure that he had a remnant placed on the other side of the team fight, and as soon as that Eclipse started to come out, he made sure to use it, dodging out a lot of it and making sure that he wasn't being able to fall down super early into this. And look what it means. All of that gold coming through means that he's only 150 gold away from that Aghanim Scepter, and he's just going to continue doing his job flawlessly, making sure that he's on top of the Tinker, not giving him a chance to just free cast in all these team fights.
I mean, this is literally what they needed in the last series against the supports. You know, that Silencer in particular, the Lion as well. And now this game, we're just seeing what the Ember can do against the Rubik, against the ET. You're taking away a lot of the stuns at the moment from Nigma Galaxy. Yo, Cam. That's a cool pickup. Aghanim Shah to potentially... honestly, anyone. If Luna gets jumped, to get him to safety to pop the BKB. The Tinker to maybe reposition himself. Mizu to get the ultimate off. So I really don't hate that Yokem has found this Ag Shard.
I like it. Pretty cool. Wonder what the interaction is like with that and Demonic Purge. If it, like, stops it because it's more of a defensive tool.
Yeah, I'm not certain. I feel like it will. There's some weird interactions that you just have to see a couple times to then get the feeling of.
Dispellable. Strong dispels only. So I feel like it would just plop him back down and on the ground.
Oh no. Radiant.
There we go.
Gotta go up against the Ags. Luckily enough, it'll just be the ET to fall.
That's an ET without buyback, though. He's going this greedy
How?
build.
He's continued to stalk in your dream. He's got the movement speed to close the distance. A Sanjin Yasha, not enough. He's out to safety or Young PH. Okay, he's going to continue to chase. The stuns are lacking. They'll get the kill. Young PH, couple remnants to still play with. Out to safety. Zorain's here. We're going to try and lay it down. The Mortimer kisses, but my god. I mean, you said, you were the one to say that Ember is the X factor of this game to enable the Ursa to really get these Roshans and make the plays. And I mean, we're seeing it so often from Young PH's game.
I think so, but I think that's taken it away
my god,
from
look
Young
at him
PH
again.
a little bit.
He's found the Tinker. The rest of the team are coming over. Alacrity's just going to go for the TPR. I don't think they've got to cancel. This Cookie just shy.
So close. Might have been able to get it if you used the Solar Crest onto Hao and then used the Cookie onto him instead.
Primal split, Alacrity is going to reveal himself, but a great timing of the blink. So Arena completely wasted. The rest of Dire is starting to swing to mid. It'll take them a while to get in the area. Yokem, unfortunately, no retreat capability. Mizu, he's still sticking around as well. Second round of the Primal split. But Alacrity has to play so far away. In fact, he's even just TP'd to top. So Mizu's going to completely waste the second ulti. And in fact, they're probably going to kill him afterwards as well. They dealt with the Wind Panda. And now where do you TP to afterwards? Yeah. Straight on top of the Reds ahead to Yangon Galacticos. And that's another kill to find. And all the split charges are now on cooldown.
Real value coming out here for Yangon Galacticos. The key thing, I think, not that they're okay with giving up those kills. As long as Luna's not dying, I think they're generally all right with it. The main thing they're playing around right now is they need Tinker to have BKB. That is the timing that they're playing for, while also not stopping Luna's farm. So I think as long as you're not losing racks, as long as you're not losing key heroes, you're generally fine with how things are turning out. As this is another dive in. Oh, Young PH has found him again. He doesn't have mana.
He doesn't have mana. Yeah, he can't get out. Yokem, let's see if the telekinesis is enough. Lunch is hunting on the backline. Young PH, man, this is his game. 8-2 and 11, make it 9 now. Another kill on the Rubik. Yangon Galacticos once again, another series that they've come to play.
And maybe it's just because my boomer hands are way too ancient for this, but I could never make the sorts of plays that he's going for right now. Just constantly understanding the full limitations of his hero and then just going for one more. Understanding that as well, the Rubik, he went for that Aghanim Shard. He was going to get the telekinesis back, not only catching out the Tinker, but also going for the Rubik after. This is some incredibly good Ember Spirit play coming out from such a young man.
Radiant's bottom tower
It's
is
just,
under attack.
I feel like we're getting to a stage where we're used to him seeing perform at such a high level. Like every game, Young PH is just excelling. How is looking incredible. Another game, I mean, he's flawless at the moment. 10-0 and 6.
They grow up so fast.
All the young guns. The talent's rising through right now. I mean, Nigma Galaxy, again, I mean, you can never count them out. We saw them yesterday, 22,000 deficit. They're able to come back out of nowhere. They still have the lineup that should feel a little bit more comfortable late game. And something that Yangon have to rely on is just pretty much getting, 4 or 5 kills and then going high ground. I don't see how they can siege. Ursa is really not the best high ground sieger, and you're going into an ET, a Rubik, a Tinker. It's not fun.
You know what the craziest thing about all of this is for me for Yangon? None of them have BKBs, and they don't even have BKBs queued up. They're just relying on their goddamn zoomer reflexes to be able to get them out of all of these engagements. I was kind of thinking maybe the Mars would go into it just so that he can continuously, stand on the front lines, maybe soak up a few of those Eclipse hits and then look to pop it so that he doesn't die to the rest of the team. But he's just going into a pipe. He's like, come at me, bro.
Damn, a pipe this late in. They're really looking to get greedy with their itemization. Radiant looking to try and change the status quo of this game, but a smoke down to bottom where none of Dire are waiting.
For me, again, it's still all about Alacrity. He's nearly reached level 20. Not the biggest power spike for him. It's still about that BKB. He needs to make sure he's got it. And, well, right now, it's still going to take him a little bit. They'll lose all of the outer towers. No Aegis because of that great mid-play previously, but it just feels like Yangon Galacticos are in such a strong position right now that they could honestly just look to go into the high ground, and they're fully committed. The pipe now finished up and coming through to the Mars. He's also got the quickening charm available. Pretty damn value.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Oh, this is actually going for Satanic instead of Abyssal. Okay. So, I mean, the Dispel's going to be nice versus the Disarm. Nothing else that I can really see it be utilized to too much value.
There's just the slows from the Brewmaster as well. If he's able to get a Thunderclap Cinder Brew off on him, he'll scout it out, see if Daddy Aben is favoring him this time around. It's not. It's a really slow Roshan. This is playing into the hands of Nigma Galaxy right now.
Bottom again.
BKB, setting up. Dies.
It's going to be a jump on Yokam, so at least Alacrity makes it away.
Oh, will Yokam make it away?
No way. Back and forth. Lun's like, okay. What? What?
Oh, let's
Dude,
go.
I don't get how people are so good at Dota. I just don't understand, man. Why can't I be like that? What the hell?
Oh, man.
No one tipped him, man. Like, what? Someone tip him. Give it,
I feel like have the tips already been used? I guess Yangon are the ones using most of them.
Far out. How is Yokam that good? I don't care they're down 10k. You make a play like that, I'm happy. Yokam, you made the stellar play this game. Oh, Bissell picked on Ursa.
I mean, the BTS social media manager is just rubbing his hands together right now, just looking at all these clips.
PH.
Oh.
Found the TP skill 8, an even better save. He's got the Glimmer as well, ready and waiting.
All right, just run away from the bridle.
Wasted.
Oh, they might catch skill 8 though.
They're too far out the base. I don't think you can take this fight. Like, now Tinker can't position himself. He's out of mana as well.
Ursa's
and they're trying to hunt.
The back line.
Yep, young PH as well. And that's just their target. Ursa and Ember always looking to try and find the wraparound.
Still have one primal split charge though, so Zoraini's going to stick around inside this Roche pit. They know that they're reaching the pure maximum of the Roche timer, and oh, step back inside. It's the refresher shard as well, so it'll be really nice, particularly for Hao. I feel like he's the one that wants to be picking this one up just to have that second usage. Oh, actually, no, I'm an idiot. Of course you give it to the Ember Spirit. Young PH is just playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah. I mean, you could even consider the Ursa. We've seen Mastros. Trying to remember the other three. You're about to remind me. Come on, Danog, you gotta be faster than that. Tino, I think, has been the other Mars that's been going for the refreshers, so...
I'm letting you flounder.
Okay. I like the I like the Ember with the shard.
Yeah, it makes complete sense to me.
Alright, Aegis, Cheese holding on Ursa, smoke out. And we'll not find anyone unless Radiant get back fast enough.
So he called that 30-minute timing. Tinker does have the BKB, so this is a big team fight. You know, you've also got Paulison having finished up that Aghanim Scepter as well, so he's going to be looking to try and just go in, try and take care of skill 8 on the back lines, making sure that, you know, either he uses a Demonic Purge onto a support, not ideal, or he dies and isn't there to be able to save the rest of his teammates when all of these key ultimates are used. Again, no BKBs right now on Yangon Galacticos, so they're going to really need to be on point with a lot of these reactions.
Izu? Just gonna TP out. I still feel like going high ground's really difficult for Dire. Like, as long as Radiant play a disciplined next 5 minutes, then we're just really gonna see them start to play around, I mean, near side their base. So it's gonna force this network lead to continue to grow, but you recognize that we've got really good high ground defense, and maybe we can force Yangon to dive too far, and then we can penalize them.
Dire's top tower
All this
is under
waiting.
attack.
Of course, you could just wait out the Aegis. I think they might have seen that the BKB was completed by Alacrity, so they know that this timing has come. He's probably not going to get anything extra beyond that. In your Dream Might, though, he's nearly finished up the Daedalus. It's just a question of, do you want to use the buyback or not? But this also gives time for Young PH to get very close to his level 25. So if you've got that, plus the Sleight of Fist
Radiant's
charges,
bottom tower
plus
is
the
under
Refresher,
attack.
it'll be incredibly effective. What's he holding on to? He's got his Refresher shard in the backpack. Like you got to move that one through. Oh, no, he's gone for the cheeky play where he's going to try and get Observer Ward on the back lines.
Oh, he does. Well, at least they're aware of his positioning. There's a DD on In Your Dream as well for this fight. Gonna use a very early split, but you can't take a fight too far out the base. Alacrity needs some fortification to protect him. The incessant spam of these abilities, though, like how do you go high ground?
I think you just wait. You got to wait for Brewmaster's Primal Split to go away. You got to give Young PH that level 25. He's got it now at the 35-minute mark. There we go. Sleight of Fist charges. You can just look to harass out on the front lines.
Skill A, he'll start. They found the Tinker. Heart's gonna fall up instantly. Lon as well. They need to try and protect Alacrity as best as they can, but he's on the outskirts of the arena. So beautiful job. Potentially now penalizing Yangon for the deep dive. Glimmer out.
Wasted.
How's even gonna move in forward as well? Still, they're gonna be cautious. Alacrity's inside the base. That's the target. Polis are not down just yet.
Man,
They'll
they're
turn to
both
deep with
kiting
Hal.
well.
The stuns are lacking, man. Mizu is so far without any assistance. The Primal Split's expired. Still, Hal's got that first life. Alacrity's actually going to blink on forward. The disarm making it so difficult to finally be able to kill off the Earth, so they haven't been able to do so, and it gives Young PH a free fight. A remnant to the backline. They finally be able to catch him. Bashes from Hal coming out left, front, and center. You've got to rely on the buybacks. The extras number to advantage, but is it even going to be enough? Finally, Aegis is being ticked out, but a lot of buybacks from Nigma Galaxy, so they sound the retreat. Yangon instantly need to get out. Even Young Peach looking to buy back as well. Getting into the midst of it all. They're on top of Alacrity. A blink out to safety, but how? Still another free fight for him. So I haven't been able to find any bashes just yet, but that's a dieback on the Ember. Now Yorkham. Remnant back and forth. He's on to Hal. He might just do it all by himself. He's killed off full. Hal's gonna try and retreat with the blink. He needs some distance, but Mizu locks onto his target. Alacrity should be able to get the cleanup as well, and there's finally the team fight that Nigma Galaxy have been looking for. I mean, it costs them dearly. Multiple buybacks. Honestly, I think everyone.
Luna didn't have it. That's the only reason she didn't buy back in that fight, but everyone else did. And I was thinking maybe they go that little bit deeper. Maybe they try and catch someone a little bit extra, but the value of that Elder Titan Aghanim Scepter really came to the front there. He was able to disrupt so much. I'm pretty sure Paulson went from level 14 to level 19 as part of that engagement. So now you even have to consider the fact that, well, you're going to be going up against an ET that might be able to do some decent right clicks as well.
Well, there's big conditions though with Tinker buying back previously, but I mean, we brought up the fact that them going high ground is not going to be easy. And when you overcommit, being able to get out of this base is, I mean, how do you do it? Honestly, those fights against the laser disarm, just the mischance, I should say, was almost unplayable. I mean, how
it was only one buyback though on Yangon. That is the good side for them. It was Young PH, so it was a very important one. But at some point, Nigma Galaxy are gonna need to leave their base. They can't just stay in there until the next time that they look to come up onto the high ground. So might not be around this 37-minute timing with the tier 4 neutral items that they look to catch someone, but you know, it still opens up a pretty decent window for Yangon to be able to catch someone out. Honestly, anyone except the Luna is the one that they want to be targeting at this point, because it's guaranteed that they're not going to be able to rejoin the fight.
I mean, Hal is still by far top of the net worth. I mean, do you feel like he considers a BKB? I think he needs it personally, but can he get greedy without it?
I think he needs it as well. I mean, he's got the Trickster Cloak, so that's going to be nice just for the instant invisibility. Not like they've been building too heavily into any kind of dust. Rubik's holding on to one just for the Glimmer Cape potential, but no Silver Edge, no Shadow Blade or anything like that. So I feel like Hao's going to get pretty damn good value out of it.
Radiant grouping up like the gonna play for a smoke. Mizu's got Refresher. Any other items completed recently from Radiant? I guess Aeon and Yocam. I can't see anything else. I mean, Alacrity's working on the Hex. That's going to be a big nuisance because they are lacking a bit of control on Radiant. Oh, Ninja Gear. That's pretty nice as well for Tinker.
It is, and also level 25 is pretty nice for Tinker, having just freshly picked that one up. So now you've got the little mini stuns. The no BKB punish. It's coming, Aries, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I mean, now you're going to have to...
I mean, the downside is, in your dream, he wasn't part of that fight, right? So he's level 21. He's nowhere close. If you could have the Eclipse Lucent mini stun coming off of that as well, then, you know, you actually do have a potential to win these team fights in pretty convincing fashion.
He's not had the easiest game on the Lunar. I mean, don't even look at the KDA. That's a sight for sore eyes.
We'll ignore that one. We'll ignore that one. This is a safe space for In Your Dream.
No flame. My guy's a baller. See.
Oh, okay. So skill A, he's going for the Aghanim Scepter. Obviously holding on to the Philosopher's Stone for now. I do want to see him just have the telescope in his backpack, though. It's going to be great for not just himself, but multiple members of the team. Even just having it nearby for when Ursa wants to be using that Abyssal Blade is going to be fantastic.
Anytime you're ready.
Okay. Mizu's gonna be going into the Aghanim Shard. What do you feel like the reasoning is for this on the Brewmaster?
Sorry, say again?
The Ag Shard on Mizu. What do you feel like the big reasoning is? What's it gonna provide them in a lot of these fights?
The disarm really is the big thing, right? You want that AoE pulse. You want to take out the Ursa's burst damage potential so that someone like the Tinker has the capability to get away. Even just something like saving the Rubik. We've seen how effective Jokam has been in all of these fights, just being able to steal something like the Flame Remnant and bounce around to either side, creating a ton of chaos, netting them the extra kill, having the extra save as well to be able to get Tinker out of position with the Telekinesis Shard.
Roche back up shortly. They're gonna smoke
as well. Look at that, the telekinesis land distance as well for Jokem. He's going to be in position to pop the smoke. Nice positioning here.
They're going to glimmer up. See how fast he is. Now, in your dream, he doesn't have this capability. He's actually going to look to stand his ground. The targeting Blun. A great arena is going to give him the capability to get on top towards the back line. Simultaneously, the duo claw is able to deal with the Rubik. Now, in your dream, they've locked straight on top. He doesn't have the opportunity for the BKB. Nigma Galaxy taking a fight outside the base is going to cost him. As now how Abyssal Blade's out, they'll have the beautiful chain control to allow no opportunity for Mizu for that ultimate. And now they'll have a window of taking some objectives.
Yeah, Roche is up, but you don't care. 3 diebacks. You can very easily go up onto this high ground. Even a Tinker isn't able to defend against this kind of push, as he's looking to swap in the Ninja Gear, try and layer out those rockets from afar.
They're just gonna end it.
Yeah, this is the right call.
Luna's got buyback.
Could they dive Fountain? Wouldn't
With
surprise
the arena
me if
they could. They don't have it, unfortunately.
I mean, just getting the Demonic Purge in onto the Tinker would be fantastic.
Is Luna not going to buy back? I mean, they've got Glyph. Alacrity is doing an exceptional job. It's really far outside the base now. That's a safety. There's the buyback, and they're going to look to reset. So just a tier 4. I think they'll get the full set of barracks mid as well. But they'll live to survive for another day.
Yeah, he was forced to use all those charges of the Demonic Purge on himself there with skill A, just to make sure he could stay alive. If he gets a single one of those onto the Tinker, he's dead. Like, the defense matrix is gone. Your Blink Dagger is constantly disabled, and you're very easily able to catch him out with the Ember Spirit. So the fact that Alacrity was able to just dodge him out all throughout that base defense just goes to show how skillful of a player he is. But this is the Shard, the Aghanim Scepter as well. I believe that's the blessing picked up by Ursa. So he's going to have that way to be able to get out of a lot of this disable. Even these little mini stuns coming through aren't going to stop him.
Oh. You reckon they can make another comeback here?
They don't have the Darkseer. If they had Darkseer, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe. But looking like might be a bit more challenging. It was around this same time in that fateful game that we saw it, but it's a 33k net worth that they're behind instead of 22k.
And they don't have the team fight abilities like they had in that other game as well. It's much more difficult for them to execute. I mean, look at Polison as well. He's got the Gleave, Leveler, and the Mask of Madness. So they're like, alright, you know, Luna, you're not doing it for us this game. I'm the real carry. Let me go crazy.
Tranquil Boots, Mask of Madness, Leveler.
Into Moonshard.
Into Moonshard. Alright, Paulson. My eyes are on you.
Speedy rune of haste.
I mean, again, how do you start?
They run away from that Fire Remnant. It's just so scary just on its own.
Young
It's
PH.
just a distraction play.
It's going to
They
force
just take
them.
the tower.
That's an early use of the Primal Split. Lun's stuck in the western tree line as well. Flicker, not going to give him the survivability. They've caught out Polison, but nice use of the protection barrier from the Tinker. Is it going to be enough to keep Polison alive, though? The artillery raining from afar. Young PH comes for the cleanup crew. Can they telekinesis him inside the base? One beams out. There needs the constant control coming through for the missiles, and they'll get him.
Jokam!
Another burst potential from Yokam, and meanwhile, Mizu as well. He cycloned up the Shadow Demon, so they weren't able to get the banishment to keep them alive.
Oh, man. He's just coming in clutch on this Jokam Rubik, man. Just the presence of mind to just be able to rush in with all of the remnants there, get it onto the front lines. I heard a refresher I've just used there by Mizu, so he's ready and willing to be able to continuously fight. Also just having that extra purge on top of what you've already got with the Primal Split through the Witchbane to be able to deal a whole lot more damage in these team fights, as well as provide that extra layer of control. I think they can still take it slow though. 2.5 minutes left on the Aegis. You want to wait for young PH to be able to come back into this. And, fun. I was about to say, you sure you want to finish that TP? Alacrity. He stays.
Oh, they're actually going to jump in. They've caught out In Your Dream again.
That's the
These
dieback.
deep observer wards paying dividends here for Yangon. I mean, if they can hold the buyback on the Ember, that's going to be huge. They're still sticking around. They don't have the Tinker. Lun's actually stopping the TP down bottom. He's not going to get the kill on Alacrity, but at least holding them back. As Mizu's still pushing them further and further away. Howard just looking to play against the objective-based gaming, but now with the Tinker back inside the base, they'll rip apart the first life. When he doesn't have the BKB, he can't get the blink out of the respawn as well. The rest of Dire is still nowhere to be seen, as Mizu's doing such an exceptional job to just push them further away from the Ursa. But they're all back alive on Dire. Mizu needs to get out to safety. He doesn't have any more charges from the Primal Split. He's used all of them to give some form of opportunity to be able to kill off the Ursa, but that's not enough. Down goes Mizu. Further inside the base they go, but I mean, we saw what Tinky could do last time. It's going to be another miraculous hold, it feels like.
It feels like much more of a lone hand this time around, though. You're able onto the front lines. You've even just got the disarm coming through from the
They
enrage.
might get the Mars once again. Another incredible
disruption.
banishment for the backline. Let's see what Polison can do. They've got a decent amount of damage here, but the backline once again,
Alacrity's
Zorain, now
been
they've got the
bound.
chain control. They've caught out Alacrity. He's got a buyback, needs to use it instantly. They've stole the Ultimate Kisses as well. So the cube's getting used from afar, but young PH is not going to give them any opportunity. An instant remnant straight on top of the backline, but still with the BKB. Alacrity's protected for a short duration. How? He's trying to find the angle in. Do they want to dive for the fountain? They haven't found the window just yet, but the banishment now instantly afterwards. How? They're going against the well-damaged, but hey, it doesn't matter. It's Yangon Galacticos.
Oh, but the Ghost Scepter buy.
They've got to
oh
call
my
it.
god.
I mean,
They have to. Although, in your dream, Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to TP
What,
in
you're
nice and
0
deep.
and 10 in your dream. A buyback. Mizu's got the ultimate back up and available, but young PH, the beams are there. The damage raining through from the Eclipse. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, they've done something in your dream, BKB, but it doesn't matter. How is way too farmed. They'll kill off Mizu's Brewlings. And with that, the game should be called. No buybacks. Yangon Galacticos. Another game where they're able to execute and they call it.
It's just like, again, the quick reactions, the amount of, like, even when they're diving the freaking fountain, you have Hao and Young PH constantly switching the fountain aggro back and forth between each other to make sure they don't die. He also buys up the Ghost Scepter so you're able to get out of it. Multiple times able to use the Observer Ward, have the presence of mind to place it onto the back lines, and so that it enables you to go in onto that Luna. This is just a team that is crazy amount of individual skill coming through here, and I mean, they're just going to mature further and further this season. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if, you know, this is the type of player kind of similar to what we saw with Nisha in Secret or Ana with OG that gets picked up by one of these more experienced European captains that just polishes that gem to make it a real world-class player.
Are you going to keep that call? Because that's a big call, my guy.
I'm telling you.
That's
I mean,
cool.
All right. His Ember Spirit is way above a lot of his other heroes, let's be real. But that Ember Spirit player is pretty damn good. So I'm keen to see that. Also, how it feels like he's very consistent across a very wide range of heroes. So I'm keen to see what they're able to do in game number 2, because that was pretty damn impressive by Yangon.
That was very impressive from Yangon. I mean, we had the opportunity to cast them last Pro Series. There was signs of life. They took maps, but they weren't as, I mean, they're 5 and 6 now, so still, there's no way they get eliminated. I mean, Omega are too far down. They're 1 and 9, so Yangon are really fighting for potential 3rd, 4th position because of how close the rest of the teams are. But when you're taking maps like this against a team like Nigma Galaxy, man, it's going to give you so much confidence. We saw them play yesterday against Neon. They had an exceptional They lost game 1 versus Neon, but then they came back and played really well in the second game. So for Yangon to, again, continue to thrive, I mean, they're looking good, continuing to have really strong performance on heroes where we expected, though. Hao on the Ursa, Young PH on the Ember. They're putting a lot of emphasis on drafting Lun's hero early. And it just felt like, unfortunately, with how they played across the map, they did a really good job early. We saw the instant smoke and double blocking the Ancients and the hard camp, so Radiant just couldn't stack in to enable in your dream because you got a really rough lane. And also when you draft a lineup that can't take out towers early, then you can't open up the map. Tinker can't take a lot more of the aggressive farm. Then it means you can now, like Ember just was infiltrating the jungle, occupying the triangle. It just was never a free game for Nigma Galaxy. I feel like they're going to kind of rethink their strategy and play a little bit more aggressive instead of the reactionary game that we saw out of them here.
Yeah, for sure. I think you've said it all. And, well, the damage meter is not in your dreams, friend. He is finishing lowest on damage for that game in particular. But, I mean, it just came down to the draft for mine. Like I said, Yangon Galacticos had the only hero that was able to get in onto the backlines. So whoever's doing their coaching, props to them, because we saw a much more composed Yangon Galacticos as well. They made the right decisions at the right times. They played around their timings. They have a very cohesive draft that worked well together, and they took away a big portion of what a successful draft looks like these days from Nigma Galaxy races. So we'll see if they're able to continue that in game number 2. But Nigma, they'll be hungry for the win.
They will. I'm sure In Your Dream as well is looking for some retribution. 1-11-9, like you said, the lower damage out of everyone in this game. So he's looking for that arc to come back in the second game. We'll find out what hero and how they're going to enable the position 1 from Nigma Galaxy, or if Yangon Galacticos can take the series 2-0.